Leadership development in difficult times. Hi, good to have you with us again. I've been doing a whole series on leadership development out of a leadership profile, personality versus character. I'm Ivan Harrell, nice to have you with us. We don't have to shut our churches just because there's a pandemic. We can be active in our leadership development, doing it at a distance. If this is the first time you're actually caught one of our videos, DVDs, YouTube about the whole issue of leadership, personality versus character, we suggest you go back to my YouTube channel and look at the introduction. It will give you an overview and you can get hold of this for yourself in terms of the profile and a few samples. In all, I've mentioned this before, there are 330 different studies in the entire file. This is just the introduction. But 330 studies on King David and his leadership style, divided into 12 chapters or phases of his leadership. You'll find them extremely useful. Each of the chapters carries a main heading and, of course, a brief about what it's about. The main heading for chapter 1 is David's deafening disaster. As a subheading, his elephant in the room, the whole Bathsheba incident. Got to deal with that or you can't deal with the leadership issues with David. It tells us here that you cannot study David's leadership abilities and modelling before you look at and deal with his terrible failure and sin adultery with Bathsheba and the consummate death of Uriah, Bathsheba's husband. This series of studies addresses that issue so you can go on to more productive, even godly aspects of David's life and leadership skills. Then it lists in the directory here the 20 studies in chapter 1. So out of the 20 studies that are in chapter 1, the very first chapter, what are some of the actual headings? Well, I'll give you just three. For example, in one session it's dealing with even great men attempted. Remember, we're dealing with moral integrity here. One of the sessions is dealing with morality and integrity matter. Another of the sessions is dealing with temptation happens to everyone. And so the 21 go on in very practical ways for leaders. Obviously, the ministry needs moral integrity and flawless character. That's what we're dealing with. That's why we had it personality versus character. Nothing wrong with personality, but if we sacrifice character and integrity for issues of personality, we've got a problem, and so does leadership. So we need moral integrity in every single leader. Here is a sample study from chapter 1. So you can see that it has an introduction, a background material that your leaders can work through. And then it has scriptures that they can look up that are parallel with the subject they're looking at. There's some great maxims of life to think about and discuss with other leaders over the phone or email. Then there's discussion questions, and we're suggesting that they not only think about that themselves, talk it with their family with the discussion questions. Ring up other leaders and say, hey, in study 1, what do you reckon about this particular question? I was thinking, and so you get your leaders developing sensible leadership development. How to get hold of the profile and the sample studies? Simply follow the email direction that's coming on your screen now. Drop us a line and we'll send it out totally free. It's the whole profile. It has the full index of 330 studies, has 3 sample studies that will give you an idea of how we set it up. It's all provided electronically, and then you can use it if you get the whole 330 studies. You can use it with your leaders electronically. They need not leave their house. Look forward to receiving your email, hearing from you. God bless you. Have a great week.